today we're going to show you the exact 4 secrets to unlock how to sell anything. We've applied these exact 4 secrets to a business that we started just this year, a flooring company. And already since March, we've generated over $1 million in sales. And I'm going to show you exactly how to apply these same 4 principles to your business or whatever it is that you're selling, even if it's just you, even if you just want to become a better person and overall better communicator so that you can get your ideas across, your ideas heard, and actually get things done that you desire. You're going to want to stick around for this whole episode to learn these 4 secrets. I've never broken them down. And David's like, you should tell people these. So we're going to do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I'm excited about it too, because I think what you mentioned is absolutely true. You might be selling a different kind of product.
Yep.
And I am a public speaker, motivational speaker, and a pastor. In reality, I'm selling things all the time.
Absolutely.
It's just in a different venue. So you can learn no matter what area of life you're in. If you're a coach or a teacher, you're trying to sell principles and concepts to your students, this will work across the board.
Selling is really just getting someone to accept and believe what it is that you are trying to convey. And sometimes that's in the form of getting them to buy something. Sometimes that's in the form of getting them to be convinced or persuaded of something. Now, there's a manipulation way to do this, and there's a positive way to do this. Right. And we'll talk about that a little bit as well. But let's break down the 4 steps. And what's really cool is there's only 4.
Cool.
Completely. So I'm going to actually write these down. Pardon my handwriting and my spelling. Please comment on anything I spell wrong and say, we're sorry that you didn't learn how to spell when you were young. Thank you. I'm aware.
But you can sell, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you can sell, you don't need to spell. That's good. All right. But I should probably get a little better at spelling. Anyway, if Grammarly was on this thing, that'd be fantastic, but it's an iPad screen. So I'm going to write these down. There's only 4 steps. Number 1, to sell anything. And it's all based on, actually, let me back that up. It's all based on one word, which is lead. So you can see that there. Lead. Everything is based on the word lead. And the first step is lead generation. I'm going to break that down for you. Lead generation. You may have heard this term before. All it means is when you're selling a product, when you're selling in any arena, I'm going to talk about the flooring company today because that's the business that I'm a part of where we are selling stuff every single day. To sell things, you have to have people to sell it to. And actually, I'd rather change that to say, don't look for people to sell your stuff to. Look for people who are already in the market for what you're already selling and already want to buy it. That's a much easier sale than trying to find people to sell your stuff to. That's why a lot of people struggle to sell things, because they get into business for themselves to try to sell something that they want to sell. And I feel like I could communicate that a little bit better. So let me break it down. Say you have the ability to make muffins and you're really freaking good at it. And you are like, man, these muffins are incredible. I really want to sell these muffins. And they're like a lemon poppy seed muffin with this cream. It's the muffin you've learned how to make. You're like, I really want to sell these muffins. I'm going to start a muffin company. It's going to be just this muffin. But you forgot to see if anybody actually was in the market for that muffin or if anybody actually desired to buy it. And so you might hit a wall thinking, wow, this muffin's so good. I want to make this muffin because I like making muffins. The first step you have to take in selling something is you have to go into an arena where there's already people who want to buy the thing that you're selling. It takes the friction completely away. Because if you get into the arena of like us in a flooring business, how many people need a floor? Literally every person ever. Everybody has a floor. It's a massive need. People need new floors constantly, all over the country, all over the world. So I didn't necessarily dream of like, man, I want to start a flooring company because I love flooring so much. I just knew there was a need out there, and I do like flooring. So I was like, man, let's combine the fact that there's something I enjoy to do, something I like, and there's a massive need out there. There's a massive market. That's going to be step one. So lead generation, when we're talking about the lead, the generation part is getting new leads. And a lead is simply a person who is interested in whatever it is that you are selling. So to generate more leads is step one of the 4 secrets. If you generate more leads, you'll have more opportunities to sell. If you generate no leads, you can forget the other 3 steps because there's nothing to do. There's no one to sell to. So generating leads is number 1. How do you generate leads? That's what marketing is. That's when you see an advertisement. That's when you see something on your Facebook that comes across where you're like, maybe the offer is, hey, this month only, you can save $1,500 off your new flooring project. Click the link below. Person clicks the link, fill out a form, say that they're interested in saving that $1,500, and now they're in your system. You can contact them, and now you're on to step 2, which is consultation. So you got lead generation, and then we've got consultation.
Okay. So can I just interrupt for a moment and ask
Absolutely.
a few questions?
Please.
So you're kind of the expert, but we've got a lot of people that want to start a business. And I love what you said about a lead is somebody that it already knows that they need a floor.
Yep.
To a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for people that are interested in what I have to offer. So the generating the lead is what? Break that down just a little bit for me and for
That's great. Yeah.
how do I generate that desire or interest?
That's a great question.
Okay.
Generating a lead, creating interest, it boils down to psychology, mental triggers. It boils down to simplify everything, it boils down to what makes you want to do something? What makes you want to take an action? Now, it's studied, but even if you don't study marketing, even if you've never studied it or learned anything about it, you can intuitively figure this out by just reverse engineering your own thoughts in your own mind. So what's the last thing you bought?
Was an elbow sleeve for
Okay.
working out.
Why did you buy it?
Well, first of all, because my elbow hurt.
Okay. So
It was like
demand,
my elbow was hurting.
need.
I had a need. And then I shopped around and I didn't want a big, huge one. So I got that size.
How did you land on the one you ended up buying, the brand? There's multiple out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, there is. That is a great question. So I liked the title.
Okay.
They're called Tough,
Okay.
Tuff. So that appealed to something in me like tough,
Yep.
right? And it said the number one elbow sleeve in the business.
Awesome.
So 2 things that attracted me, the tough and the number one.
Did you read any reviews to verify their claim?
I did.
Okay. Cool.
I did. And I also looked at some other companies that were legitimate, very legitimate, and they identified with the form of working out, the CrossFit community. But this one just grabbed my attention because it was like, it looked like they had been around for a while.
Yep.
They knew what they were doing.
Did you Google search the item and they showed up?
I did.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so lead generation, if you reverse engineer how things work, Rich, nobody came and found Rich. He went out and looked for them, but they were extremely findable. And so being findable is about the number one way to generate a lead. Now there's two types of products, and we'll segue slightly real quick. Two types of things that you can sell. Two ways you can sell, I should say. There are intentional purchases where you're searching on Google for something, which is awesome. And so Rich was already in the market for that. This site was findable. And what sold him was a concept called social proof. And that's a marketing term of saying other people like it. And if other people like it,
That's good.
since he's a people, he's like, I'll probably like it too. And if they're the number one rated and they've been around for so long, Rich is thinking, okay, I can trust them because so many people have tried this and it works for them that I don't have to think, is it going to work? Wonder it's going to work for me or not. I'm going to order it. So he was really confident in that purchase because other people left reviews. Other people said it's a great product, which is actually the number one thing that makes people decide to buy something is if other people already like it. It's called social proof.
So that first one is you're talking about where the consumer is looking.
You're
for
looking.
something.
Yep.
I'm looking.
Yep.
Okay,
It's an intentional search,
that's good.
high intent, and generally that happens in a search engine such as Google, Bing, etc.
Okay.
Or Internet Explorer like Peyton uses. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Sorry, he's actually way younger than me, so he doesn't even know what Internet Explorer is. Sorry, buddy, I love you. But to get back to the second type,
Yeah.
so that's an intentional search. And David knows this one really well because David's behind the camera. We work on this together a lot. The second type of way you can find a lead is through disruption. Disruption is when you're not looking for something and it finds you, such as a Facebook ad. And a lot of people get annoyed by Facebook ads, but then also a lot of people are really excited by some Facebook ads because Facebook ad or YouTube ad or TV ad or whatever, you're scrolling, you're not looking for something. You're just looking to be entertained, and then something finds you. And it's a product that solves a need you either knew you had or didn't know you had, but now know you have, or a want or a desire. And a new product shows up, you're like, whoa, I never knew about that. Or I was looking for something like that, but I didn't know that company made it. And so that's a disruptional type of ad. And you can run disruptional ads, which is my favorite form of advertising because you can actually create an audience. Because the way an audience is broken down is the audience that you see that exists is like the tip of the iceberg. The audience that actually exists is the rest of the iceberg, but that audience doesn't even know that they're your audience yet. You can make them into your audience by introducing them to something they never knew they needed or wanted, which is so cool, so powerful.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
All right. And once again, it's a generational question. I know all you young guys will know the answer to this. But how does Facebook know what I need?
Very.
Because like things pop up that I'm not thinking about, but I actually am interested in them. Does that make sense?
If you're doing anything on the internet, you're being tracked, and any free platform, here's a freebie for you, a pro tip. If any platform is free, that means you're the product. So if Facebook is free and it's always going to be free, then they're actually selling you to advertisers. If Google's free, they're selling you to advertisers.
Okay.
So Google exists and it tracks everything that you've ever looked up, and it can reverse engineer your intention. So based on your searches, it can know that you're a triathlete. It can know, it know like non-triathletes aren't shopping for triathlon goggles.
Correct.
So it knows what you are. So now that data can be utilized on other platforms such as Facebook to target you for an upcoming triathlon that you should sign up for. And that's how it works. It's a lot of, we're in the information age, and the biggest companies exist to attain information and sell it to advertisers. And it's very useful in some cases. And for advertisers that are selling legitimate things, people actually really like it. I like that ads exist because I like when I can find a product that I didn't know existed that's actually going to help me with my problems. It's pretty cool. So
a lead then, and generating leads, is getting really more people to know what my product is or what I'm trying to sell.
Exactly. A lot of people say, well, word of mouth advertising is the best form of advertising. You don't need to use the internet, et cetera, et cetera. I actually agree with that. I think word of mouth advertising is the best form of advertising possible. And I think the internet allows you to get your word in more mouths and expedite the
Ooh,
process.
that's good. Say that again.
Word of mouth advertising is the best. Absolutely. Because when somebody recommends a product to you,
Right.
you generally already trust them to some degree. So when you go to buy it, your objections are so low because you're like, well, Rich told me I need to buy these goggles and because they work well for him. So now when I go to buy them, I'm not thinking about I need to shop around. I need to look for
Yeah.
better deal, whatever. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm buying the ones he told me to buy, right?
Yeah.
So word of mouth advertising is incredible. You actually bought your elbow sleeve based on word of mouth advertising. You just didn't realize it because you didn't know the people personally, but you read the review. That's word of mouth. And it's the best form of advertising out there.
And it's exponential.
Yep. But
Because
using
now it's just not my neighbor next door. It's everyone that's on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Using advertising helps you get your word in more mouths.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it. So it's all still word of mouth. It's just expansion beyond what you can do because you can't go knock on a million people's doors, but you can post an ad that gets seen by a million people in a day. It's pretty cool.
Lead generation.
Lead generation, which leads us to number 2 is consultation.
Okay.
I'm going to break this down. Consultation is simply when a lead moves, they've already been generated, and now we're following up with that person to see if we are the right fit for them. Now, if you're thinking about e-commerce, Amazon, etc., consultation generally happens in reading descriptions, when you're reading a description. But if you're thinking about buying a floor, buying a car, buying a new roof for your home, buying, something that's maybe a little bit of a larger ticket, that's not just like a quick Amazon purchase, consultation generally happens in the form of somebody coming to the house or somebody calling you or somebody getting on a Zoom call with you to explain, answer your questions, and see if it's even a good fit. So in the flooring business, we offer free estimates because we need to go out and see if we can even do the floor. If the floor is messed up, there's way too much damage, the house foundation is falling apart, we might not even be able to service the floor. We also need to see if the customer likes us, our company, our product, and our financing options enough to go with us. They might not, but the consultation phase is so important. And I personally think it's the most missed phase possible. And so when I say step 2 is consultation, I'm not saying it's the actual happenstance of the consultation. It's not when the salesperson gets to your home. It's when you set the appointment to get the salesperson to your home. So it's one stage before. So the consultation, I personally think, is the most overlooked step. And this is where I believe most of the wealth lies. And actually, we just made a change in this last month, and we saw a massive increase in numbers month over month, almost twice as much as the month previous sold, by tweaking the consultation phase. So this is when a lead comes in and says, I'm interested in getting a new floor. And then we call them, text them and email them instantly and say, hey, so-and-so, looks like, hey, David, it looks like you qualify for the $1,500 off promotion that we're running. We would love to send out a design consultant to take a look at your floor and get you that free quote that's good for a year. Does tomorrow work at 10 a.m.? No, tomorrow doesn't work. How about Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday works. Sounds good. That's the stage of, and there's a whole lot of skill that goes into getting and earning that trust over the phone to get somebody to the home. But it's very important, this part of setting that appointment up, setting up that consultation. This is where I feel like most of the money is missed, because a lot of people get leads. We deal with this because me and my brother, my partner Nick, we are all partners in a marketing agency called Collab Studios. And this is what we do. We do these 4 things for businesses all across the country, and we really don't do anything else. We do lead generation. We help them get more consultations. And a lot of companies that we work with will generate the leads, and then they'll come back and say those leads weren't very good. And I'll be like, tell me about it. Why wasn't the lead good? Well, the lead said they're just really shopping around right now and they don't really want anybody coming out to the home. And I'm like, shopping around for a floor? Yeah, that's a perfect lead. If somebody's interested in a floor and you're a flooring company, there's no better lead out there. Quite literally none. If they say they're not interested right now and they're just shopping around, there's some objection hidden in there that you need to handle to make them realize that you coming out is actually incredibly beneficial for them. Most of the times people are like, yeah, I'm not really interested. I'm just looking for a ballpark price. Can I just get a ballpark price? And our answer is, most people would say, yeah, here's the ballpark price, right? And now the customer takes that ballpark price and they compare it to other people's ballpark prices. Now they're just shopping price. You totally just disserviced that client so bad because all you did was give them a price. You didn't even tell them about how valuable your company is. Now they're just comparing price versus price, and they're going to go with the lowest price. And whenever somebody goes with the lowest price, they end up with the lowest quality and lowest value. And so you just disserviced your client if you have a better product.
Yeah. You've heard the expression, the fortune's in the follow-up.
It is fortune in the follow-up. That's what this is, exactly.
What I'm hearing you talk about consultation, which I love this, is that a lot of businesses can even generate leads.
Yep, a lot of them can.
But if you don't follow up on that lead, you're not going to build your business. I know I'm a certified professional coach.
Yep.
And I know when a prospective client does the free consultation with me,
Yep.
I know we're going to connect.
Yep.
I just know it because I know in that 45-minute discussion, we're going to identify exactly what they need. And if they don't need me, I'm very honest.
Yeah.
And I'll say, you need this or this.
That's great.
But if this is where you want to be, absolutely. And so that would be in my business, would be my consultation time. But it's in the follow-up.
Absolutely.
And there's probably a lot of business owners that don't take that seriously.
Yep. Or they spend money on marketing to generate leads, and then they think that the money was wasted because they don't know how to handle the lead. That's it. That's it. We actually made a big pivot in our business where we used to just help companies generate leads. Now we help them with all 4. Because we realized that a lead is worth nothing if you don't know how to get it through the other 3 stages.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about this consultation too is that not everyone, but the majority of my clients that I coach, I've been in some form of back and forth communication with them.
Yep.
Like more than 4 or 5 times, or 5 or 6 months, and then boom, the timing's right.
Yep.
So I'm sure there's people in businesses that are consulting that have failed to stay with that.
One of the big things we find with clients when we help them get a lead and they say the lead sucks, and they're like, this lead is trash, give me better leads. It's like, whoa, okay, tell me a little bit about the lead, like what happened. Well, I got back to them the next day and they just pause. Did you say next day? Like 24 hours later? Step 1, speed to lead. That is the most important thing you can do. The most important metric. There's no better metric. If you mess everything else up except speed, you're going to get some.
Say that again.
Speed to lead.
Which
you
means
need to call
in the
them.
real world,
Yep.
You're coaching. Let's say we're coaching a client on how to build a business.
Yep.
They have a lead.
Yep.
Give me an exact time.
1 second. And if you can do it faster than 1 second, faster than 1 second. Here's the reality. If you're filling out a form to get a new floor in your home, when are you thinking about the flooring the most?
That moment.
Right when you're filling the form out. What about the next day? Are you still thinking about it? Are you in the same mind? Are you still excited about getting a new floor?
You do, but now you're starting to think about your budget and money and what should I or shouldn't.
Either that,
There's a hesitation the longer you wait, right? Is
either
what you're
that,
saying.
or when I call you back, you're sitting down with another flooring company who understands this principle. And that's mostly what happens. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for reaching back
Okay.
out. We actually already bought. You need to send me better leads. These leads are
Wow.
buying from other people.
Wow.
One day later. No.
People want to take action immediately. That's why they
Yep.
took the time. That's
In fact, the building we're in right now, 2 floors below us, are full staffs dedicated to speed to lead for a company called Revamp Companies, which has mastered this, which is one of our clients that we work with and have worked with for years.
speed to
Speed to
lead.
lead. Call them as fast as you possibly can. Once you get past the 1 minute mark, your chances of setting them start decreasing pretty drastically. Once you get past the 5 minute mark, they may be gone. Crazy, but super effective. And once you know it, it's actually pretty easy. Lead comes in, you call them instantaneously. Once you realize how valuable that is, you'll be like, oh, I need to hire a staff member that does this all day because it actually saves me money and makes me way more than it costs me. That's incredible. Did that answer your question, Dave? So speed to lead is super important, and not just taking no for an answer, but really digging down into getting, it's the best thing for that person for you to get to their home, to show them the value so that they can compare that value. Do not pressure them, but get to the home, show the value so that they can compare the value on an equal playing field with whoever else is selling them the same thing.
So this is a question, and maybe you're going to answer this in 3 and 4 because I'm loving this right now. I'm just eating this up, thinking about the businesses that I have, thinking about the people that I lead and the people that I coach and the organizations that I coach. Here's the question. So how long then do you nurture the lead,
Yep. Follow up. So he said fortunes in the follow up.
Yeah.
So that's a great question. I actually was thinking about it and forgot it. Here's the rule of thumb. Call them within less than 1 second if you can, or less than 5 minutes if that's more feasible. And once you do this, you might be like, how am I going to call these leads? I got so many leads coming in and I can't handle it and I can't get back to them. And then you're going to need to hire more staff because you're following the 4 secrets and it's going to happen for you. But answer your question. How long should you follow up with the person? Because what if they don't answer on the first call like most won't?
Right.
Very good question. You follow up with them until they buy, die, or tell you to die.
Ha!
That's it. You can never know if you followed up with them enough.
Ooh, buy,
Yep.
die, or you die.
Or they tell you to die because they're they're tired of you calling.
Okay.
I did not invent the follow up till they buy or die. That's somebody else. I don't know exactly who did it, but I added or tell you to die because you don't want to annoy somebody past if you called them 100 times and they're like, quit calling me, I'm tired of this, but leave them alone. All right.
So until they really say stop,
yeah,
they're still contemplating.
absolutely. You have. There's no scientific way to know. There's probably people out there that'll say 14 times is the magic number. You have no idea what the magic number is.
Right.
Everybody's different. The magic number is when they buy, die, or tell you to die.
But, if you've never been coached like that, if you've never been told that, you think that 1 or 2 rejections and you just give up.
Let me give you a pro tip too, because one more thing on what you just said. You just give up. Let me tell you a pro tip. An excellent consultation rate, meaning if you get 100 leads, how many of those should turn into appointments or consultations or phone calls or whatever? 33%. That's amazing.
33% is like,
You might be
that's
like,
superstar status.
it's not superstar
Okay,
status,
but it's really good.
really good. Superstars will be 40, 50% because they're just after it. I mean, those are the people that are calling till they buy, die, or tell them to die. They're hitting 40s and 50s, depending on the industry. But you might be super discouraged. You're like, man, only 3 out of every 10 people I call turn into appointments. I'm terrible. No, you're amazing. And you should know that. And If you're getting 1 out of every 3, that's incredible. Same with selling. If you're getting 1 out of every 3 sales, phenomenal. You could be better. There are people that are 50, 60%. There are killers out there. But 33%, you're going to build a sustainable business. Very sustainable and a very scalable business. So pro tip on the consultation side, I'm probably going to spend the most time. That was probably the most time I'll spend on any one of these because I think it's the most overlooked and the most key tipping point that changes a business in the
I
positive
agree
direction.
with that. And I see that in every area of life.
Yep.
And we deal with churches, we talk about their follow-up system. It's amazing how people can walk away from a very friendly church and not feel like they've really been personally touched because they haven't been followed up to.
100%. Yeah, it's not just in selling. It's in everything. The follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Persuasion. How do you spell persuasion? P-E-R? P-E-R-S-U-A? S-I-O-N. Persuasion.
1 S? Good job,
Check
David.
me in the comments if we're wrong. There's generation, which we know. Consultation,
Consultation.
which is setting the appointment, not the
Okay.
actual consultation. And then persuasion. This occurs in the consultation phase when you're actually there at the appointment,
Okay.
or when you're on the phone, or when you're on that free coaching session, or when, like on a digital product, the persuasion portion happens when you're reading a description on a very well-crafted landing page. Might be a video telling you about why. It's basically the thing that causes you to either make the decision that it is right for you or know fully that it's wrong for you.
Okay.
Persuasion is sales. It's the sale. But I like the word persuasion better than the word sale because sale infers that it's only a win if they buy the thing from you. Persuasion knows that it's a win if the person seeking to buy the thing walks away with the best possible situation for them, which could be not buying it from you. This will change your life when you remove yourself from caring about whether they buy it or don't. Your only job is to offer them the best possible solution for their problem and help them decide whether you're that or you're not. And after a masterful presentation, they will know whether you're the best solution or someone else is. And either way, you won because your job is to serve the client. And if you obsess over their problems, you're going to be the best solution for them because a lot of companies out there are not obsessing over their problems. They're obsessing over their own problem, which is they want more sales. You don't want more sales. You want to help more people win, and you're going to get more sales naturally. That's persuasion.
Yeah, yeah. And that's truth from ages gone by, right? When you meet a need, that's what it's all about. And that's what builds businesses is when you meet a need a person has. I heard it say this way: if you find a need, plant a seed.
Yep.
And plant that seed of what that floor could look like, what that life could look like, what that dream could look like.
What did Jesus say about how to be the greatest of all?
Serve. Become the least.
The greatest of all is the servant of the most people, essentially. And he wasn't just saying spiritually.
Right.
You serve people, you're going to be rich financially.
Yeah.
People who serve people and obsess over their problems, those people run to those people with money and say, hey, please solve my problem. Here's my money.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question for people like me. Persuasion is like really then, like in a coaching session, I don't tell people what to do.
Yep.
I find out what is their greatest need
100%.
and how we can get them there. So you're in persuasion in your sales, you're finding out what their need is.
Exactly. Yep.
Instead of just trying to sell them something. Buy what we have, you're getting them to tell us what you need, and then you have that.
I don't even know if I have it, honestly, Rich. It might
Well,
not.
you might not, right?
It might not.
And so you're
it might
good.
not be a good fit for you.
There you go.
What I have to sell might not be a good fit for you, but by the end of today's meeting, I want to know 100% with 100% certainty, and I want you to know with 100% certainty that I'm either the best fit for you possible or I'm not. And we
Ooh.
don't have to have a second conversation.
That's really good. That clarifies it.
That's how I close sales.
That really clarifies it.
Yep. That's
Because
it.
not everybody then is a good client.
But guess what? People love that because now they're the ones choosing you. You're not forcing anything upon them. I actually, we closed a pretty big deal with an entire board of people ranging from the ages of like 75 down to 30. And it's a company that's been in business for several years. And I genuinely wanted to help this company, but I thought we had a really good offer for them, but I'm like, you need to determine. I started the whole meeting, and this was the first time I met some of these guys. I asked them to all come into a room because I wanted the decision made right there. I didn't want anyone saying I have to go talk to so-and-so. I'm like, let's do this right here. So we finally got everybody in a room, and I said, I want you guys to know my goal by the end of this meeting is for us to shake hands on this deal or know full and well that this is not the right fit. Nothing left unsaid. And we walk away, and I end almost every single sales presentation with, sounds like you like everything about the company, right? You said you like this, you like that, you like what we're offering, you like this problem we're solving for you, you love it. If it was free, would we be shaking hands?
Okay. It's finally getting through. Persuasion is not persuading something to buy my product. Persuasion is persuading somebody to make the right decision.
For
Is
them.
this right for me or is this wrong for me?
That is persuasion. And if you say,
Okay.
no, I don't like it and I don't like the price, it would really hurt me. You break that down and actually ask them, why would that hurt you? You don't just take that for an answer.
Sure.
But if you get all the way through and you've handled every objection, and they're like, I really can't do that. That would be me having to go into debt. That would put my family in a really bad scenario. You get to a place where you're like, that would be bad. Then you say, absolutely, I wouldn't even recommend working with us.
So persuasion is not just taking the first answer, it is working all the way down to where the final answer
is
has
price. Yeah.
has been thought
Yep.
through, talked through, and finally accepted.
You open and close every single objection, and then you say, if this was free, would you buy it? Or would we be shaking hands right now? And if they say yes, now you know that everything about it is perfect. And then you say, we get it. Things have a price to them, and it has to make sense financially for you. Then you talk through the price, and that's the only thing you're focused on. Now they can't go back and say, well, after you present the price, they might look for an out and try to say, well, I don't really like that component of it. They can't say that now because you already handled that.
I got
You can't leave that till the end. The last thing you present is price. And that's probably a whole episode on its own. But essentially, persuasion is you don't have to memorize anything, by the way. You don't have to memorize a sales script. You just have to care about the other person more than you care about yourself. That's it. If you genuinely care about the other person's outcome more than you care about you getting paid by them, you're going to naturally do everything that sales scripts coach people to do. You're going to listen to them. You're going to find out what they need. You're going to reply with, can you even do it? You're going to present everything and how you've done it. You're going to answer all their questions, and you're going to get down to the final thing, which is price. And you're going to present it so confidently because you do not care if they pay you or not. It's just the price. That's just what it costs.
Wow. Novel idea, caring for your customer, right? So we were at a leadership seminar recently.
Yeah.
Incredible book, Unreasonable Hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about a restaurant owner. And honestly, I think of persuasion because he wanted people to walk away from their experience knowing it was the best experience of their life. And they would do anything to make them feel that. And it wasn't all just in the food.
Yep.
It was in meeting their particular need, finding out what they needed.
Yep.
Shared a story about how this couple came in and they had this incredible meal, and it's a 5-star top ranked #1 restaurant
Wow.
in the world, right? And these people made the comment, the only thing we haven't experienced here in New York is one of those New York hot dogs. And what did they do? They go out to a street vendor, buy a hot dog, have the cook cut it up into pieces, serve it with ketchup and mustard, and serve it to these people before they left.
That's incredible.
And when they're going out persuaded. This was the best experience that we've ever had. That's serving the client.
Yeah. Yep.
That's serving the client.
It's like you know what the next step is, the final step in the system to sell anything, the secrets to sell anything. It's called maximization, and it's exactly what you just said.
I jumped ahead of you, but
no, you're
it
great.
works, right?
Maximize.
Maximize.
ATION.
Maximization.
So you may have seen these 4 steps. I didn't invent these 4 steps.
Right.
But I did coin them in these terms simply because I wanted them all to end in ation. That's it. I wanted them to just sound good together so you could easily remember them.
You sound like a preacher.
Yeah. So generation, consultation, all based on lead. Lead generation, lead consultation, lead persuasion, lead maximization. That's it.
So
Episode over.
you have to be a leader.
That's it. Yeah,
have to be a leader.
You do. Yep.
You lead.
You
Lead
lead
generation, lead consultation, lead persuasion, and lead maximization, meaning you are the leader. You're not waiting
Yep.
for people to make a decision. You're leading in that process.
I didn't invent this system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody invented it except for God himself. It's just principles that men have discovered and put cute names to. But they work. They work every time, and they will always work because you're always selling from one human to another. That's it. We never change. Like the core of us never changes. Cultures may change, styles may change. These things don't. These are principles that are built into the earth and built into us as humans. Maximization is simply and also incredibly overlooked. It is the art of once you sell something to someone, they say, I don't know who coined this, but I've heard Myron Golden, I've heard Russell Brunson, I've heard other people say this. They say a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. If they bought from you once, they'll buy from you again. And most people get the sale, they get the fish on the hook, they get the sale, and they're like, yes. Now they go out and look for a new client, and they start the whole process back over. What if you ask that customer who just bought your thing, say they bought flooring, and they love it, what if you just leave and say, I'm glad you love it, have a great day? A lot of people do that. A lot of people leave. What if you say, man, I'm so glad you love your new flooring. Is there any other flooring projects you were thinking about getting done that we could get you on the books for? No, there's not. Okay, no problem. Is there anyone you know that might love a floor like this and you'd feel like good like introducing us to because they're already shopping for a floor? Actually, yeah, there is. Sweet. Well, actually, I'm going to pay you $250 in Visa gift cards for every single person you send our way that turns into a customer. We're going to pay you. So you send us 4 people, that's $1,000. You send us 8 people, that's $2,000. We want to pay you for you telling other people about us because it's incredibly valuable. Now, I just created a new
I was just thinking that.
lead.
It's a new lead generation.
And now they go back through the phase. But the beauty is that was a word of mouth. And remember I said word of mouth is the easiest form of a lead to sell.
Yeah.
I just created a word of mouth lead. This is why companies get so massive. And when they get to a certain mass, all you have to do is look at the little check mark and you know, oh, that's Nike. And you don't just know it's Nike, you know that is an elite form of apparel worn by the elitist athletes on the planet. Looking at a check mark, because the word of mouth, it transcends even having to be said. Once you've created so much word of mouth, people advertise for you for free.
Yeah.
They can't rave about you enough.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Like you said, that maybe not Joey Nagel original on every level,
Nope.
but the way you've put it together is easy to understand, easy to implement. Not easy, but
Simple.
You can do simple if you're willing to do the work.
Yep.
I love it.
There's work, but the steps are simple. There's not more than 4. There's nothing else beyond this. This is how.
And when you're a business leader, you have to lead.
Yep.
When you're a leader, you have to lead. I love the way it's called: lead generation, lead consultation, lead persuasion, lead maximization.
You got to lead them through the whole funnel.
I love that.
I never even thought about it like that. I hope this helped you. I hope, actually, I know that this is some of the most valuable information you'll ever learn in your entire life. It will answer any financial problem that you currently have. If you find a great offer that somebody's already looking to buy, a product that somebody's already looking to buy, a service that somebody's already looking to buy, and you master these 4 things, you will win. This is exactly how we created a $1 million business that's already generated over $1 million, started in March of 2024, and we're currently in September. We use these 4 things, nothing else. You master these, and you're well on your way to becoming rich. And if you keep listening to the show, you won't just be rich, you'll also
You'll
be wealthy.
Love it.
We'll see you on the next episode of Rich to Wealthy. Stay blessed.